I don't want to just take people's content.
So you've been seeing these logos floating around. You're hearing words like Sweet Baby and Ghost Baby and Gamergate Round 2, and you want to know.
What do you guys hear? What's the scuttlebutt?
I am here to attempt a brief overview of just what in the heck is going on at
Make sure you guys show this guy some love, Greg Owen.
present, and some historical context to explain why this is such a big controversy. So here's how this is going to go, and I'll have timestamps because it's a very large subject. First, in as balanced a way as I can manage, I'll tell you what this company is and why they're in the news in the first place. Then I'll briefly explain what Gamergate was, so you can understand why people are calling this Gamergate Part 2. Once we have the history lesson out of the way, then...
Essentially, Gamergate was when a pissed off feminist was like, yo, why is it so many masculine ass characters in these video games? Why is there so many white men in these video games? Why is there so many fucking big titty bitches in this video game? I want women that look like me. I want chubby, unattractive females that look like me to get on there so I can go ahead and play the game and feel like a queen. So guess what? So the game industry, Xbox and all of these studios, this is when everybody took a slope to Dookie because Donald Trump was in office and everybody was trying to piss off the orange man. So they were like, you know what? We're going to give them the opportunity to do what they do. So they went ahead and they said, it's a generation, right? They seen how Xbox 360 cultivated a bunch of dude bros, and they were like, you know what? Let's fucking overthrow that. We're going to get a bunch of weirdos. So they went over and they got a bunch of people together. They were like, okay, we're going to get this together. We're going to go ahead and form these companies from the backing of our communities because we're online influencers, and we're going to get these guys with the sway of money and influence to do what we want. We're going to be considered a consulting company. They all been their consulting company, Sweet Baby Inc. They go ahead and they talk to a company. Hey, this guy needs to be black. Make him black. But it makes sense. No, it doesn't make sense. How come it doesn't make sense? Because it's ancient it's ancient England. How the fuck is it gonna be a black dude? What, he wandered there? Listen. Make the key. Who's that white dude with the beard? Make him black. That is the main character's father. Make him black. Make him half black then. Oh, God. Here we go. This is where we go. They tokenized the fuck out of some characters. They didn't make original stories. And the original stories they did made sunk donkey water. But you know why? Because they were too safe. When you make a game too safe, you're not appeasing to the market of a gamer. A gamer wants something that is awesome, that's an epic, that's something that's close to the edge that's possible. Because when you play video games, you're out for the experience. At least that's what I am for. I'm not just there to just play this cookie cutter game that's going to feel the same exact of the last game I played and the next game I play and the next game I play of a different title. It makes no goddamn sense to me. I'm not trying to do that. I want to go ahead and actually play something with some fucking sense to it. Tired of all this bull crap, bro. Let's go ahead and skip up into what is Sweet Baby. Alright, so this is the G4 incident. So this is like the official start of Gamergate 2.
Another big hot point was the final days of the revived G4 TV. G4 was a video game channel on cable from 2002 to 2014, but was canceled because it was pretty niche, and since a lot of gamers are online so much, they also get their news and reviews online. But in 2021, they tried to give it another go, launching on cable and also taking advantage of streaming and social media sites. They capture the nostalgia, bring back old hosts. It was pretty exciting. But again, it just wasn't popular enough to justify financially, and the channel was heading downhill. Now, a large catalyst for the abrupt end was this now infamous rant by host Indiana Black, who used the gaming handle Froskurin, but is widely known simply as Frosk. Formerly a League of Legends coach and commentator, she joined the channel for the relaunch, and she went on an impromptu rant about gamers being sexist and sexism in gaming.
But I actually want to talk about something so much more important than Red Dead Online. Sexism in gaming. Women do not exist to be nice on the eyes for you. Morgan Webb, Olivia Munn did not exist to be nice on the eyes for you. And that's just obvious sexism.
You know what,
You
people?
need to explicitly objectify women or declare that.
You know why people find these type of people annoying? Because nobody was even talking about that. Nobody was even talking about it. She went on this rant because somebody in the comment was like, she's ugly. Okay. Take it. On the chin. Leave it alone. I got somebody the other day that made nothing but racist comments to me for the last 5 minutes straight. And I didn't give a damn. I sat there and let him talk to me. You know why? Because he was talking to me. I don't give a damn. These people are watching. Some of them going to be ignorant. Some of them aren't. Some people are going to talk to you, have a decent conversation. Some people are going to cuss you out. It's the way it goes. And you're telling me, sitting in that air conditioning, making all that goddamn money, you're not going to just sit there and take that comment on the chin? You're going to sit there and cry and fucking make a big scene of shit and then start a whole goddamn political scandal over video games?
You hate women to be sexist. You're letting your unconscious biases ruin my day, and you're gatekeeping the gaming space.
Like Sarkeesian's attitude, for gamers like myself, it was insulting to be grouped in with internet trolls and be told my whole hobby is sexist, and I'm a sexist for engaging in it.
If you don't like it, don't watch it. Peace.
Other gamers agreed, and G4 began losing subscribers by the thousands the very next day. Shortly thereafter, the entire channel was canceled, and another host, Adam Sessler, engaged in Twitter fights, doing "your mom burns," and again calling gamers various names because they were upset that Frost had labeled them as sexist. In interviews and Twitter feeds, Adam has consistently shown that he is another one who holds his nose to mingle among the unwashed gaming masses. My personal belief is that there is a lot of anger in the games journalism community, and a large part of it is that their industry is dying, to be taken over by YouTubers and Twitch streamers. The audience doesn't need to wait for Nintendo Power Magazine to show up with tips and tricks and cheat codes, and they want more commentary. I can understand that if you have a journalism degree and you're getting...
My whole point with TV and like TV-based content is that they cut a lot of shit out. Like, a lot of people don't like that no more. Because if you watch something on the news, like, hold on, I can show you something right now. That's the power of the internet. We'll go to a random news, right? Look, check this out. We'll do the BBC, right? Especially these big news companies. They're notorious for
Scandals happen all the time. The question is, how do democracies respond to those scandals?
And what will it mean for...
Oh, these are funny moments. Watch this.
Mr. President, thank you so much for being with me.
Thanks for having me.
So Trump attended a groundbreaking here where we are for Foxconn. He promised 13,000 jobs, and only about 1,000 of those actually exist right now. So I know you're promising more than 2,000 union construction jobs, and that 100,000 people are going to get trained.
Watch when he starts to answer.
Significant tax cuts to the super wealthy. Now we got 1,000 billionaires in America. You know what the average federal tax is? 8.3.
Oh no, dude. I can't watch this guy talk. That guy fucking sucks. There we go. Something like this.
Here with our own fact check.
Even on Fox. Look, watch this.
Committee to Unleash Prosperity co-founder, the great Steve Moore. Joe Biden lied about jobs. He lied about inflation, and Aaron Burnett said nothing. That's the strategy. They go on and lie and hope the lies.
Then 18 months later, it's 9% under Biden. Maybe that was the 9% he was talking about. And of course, it's come down to about 4.5%, but that's still way, way above the 2% target that the Federal Reserve Board says they're aiming for. I mean, the bottom line is everything is 20% more expensive today than it was when Trump came into office.
But look at the video. Right? I'm not going to bore you with what they're talking about. It's stupid. 5 minutes, 27 seconds, right? That guy, full interview, was 5 minutes and 27 seconds. They asked all those questions. and did all that talking in 5 minutes and 27 seconds. The average podcast is 3 hours.
Being absolutely trounced in audience numbers by a random guy who yells at the screen, you'd be bitter about it. So we're back in the present, and the Sweet Baby Detective debacle has caused internet users to put on their Death Frisbee ear hats and dig into Sweet Baby's past and everyone who is connected. And it's more of the same, sadly. There are a lot of connections being made to the Sweet Baby funding companies, Baby Ghosts and Weird Ghosts. Also connections back to that Zoe Quinn person again, because the founder of Baby Ghost is the sister of Alec Holoka, who ended his life after accusations of assault were posted online by Quinn. Looks like this all revolves around a little group of the same people. Now, if you want to go down that rabbit hole, check out those names. But for now, I'm going to stick with 3 big stories that have come up recently about comments made by those involved. First up, we've got Sweet Baby co-founder Kim Belair giving a talk at a game developer conference. GDC is like TED Talks for game devs. They're really cool. It's 30 minutes, and I'll link it below. The video has been catching a lot of heat because of how Belair describes gamers as picky babies who need to be force-fed something better for them, and also because of how she describes threatening marketing departments like a mob crew. But I'll get to those in a moment. What I think is most important about this video is that it demonstrates the doublethink that is happening right now when people talk about diversity and inclusion. Belair introduces herself and tells a story of how she was hired to consult about a dating game and gave some advice for how they could expand the narrative that they wanted. Eventually, they thanked her and they cut a section because they realized it was too risky. She lamented that diversity consultants are, in reality, risk management consultants because everybody is scared to offend the wrong people. Now, it's ironic that she doesn't see herself as the reason people are scared, but anyway. She then described her experience playing Mass Effect in 2010 and how she was able to create a character that looked like her. And she was so excited when, early on in the game, there was this organic moment where 2 black characters were on screen. The only ones on screen, and nothing stereotypical was happening. Nobody was a drug dealer or a gang member. The scene wasn't about 2 black people doing black things in a black way. Black, black, black. It was just natural. And she was excited by the naturalness of...
Oh my god, dude. You know why that encounter felt so natural? Because it was made in a time when gaming didn't give a damn about skin, didn't give a damn about vagina, didn't give a damn about she-ness. They didn't give a damn about none of it. They just gave a damn about making a fun and good game that felt enjoyable to whoever was playing it. It didn't matter if you were playing it and you were white and you couldn't how I see it personally, bro, if you can't identify with another person just because you're not the same color as them, you are a psychopath. You have a mental issue and you need to go get therapy. You need to go talk to somebody because that is not normal. You can write a book about a damn towel like in South Park, and I can agree with that more than I can agree with the shit that they be putting on these games nowadays. Like, this is ridiculous, bro. All this excuses for making tokenism okay again is just like, okay, we should just make minstrels okay again then. We should just dress white people up as black people and make them make ooh, ooh, ah, ah sounds. Like, that shit's fucked up, bro. Like, leave us the hell alone. Make us a new story. Do something cool. Make a game about the fucking black samurai that got captured as a slave and went to Japan. That's a true story that you can make it fucking weird and shit, because Japanese shit is weird. Like, awesome. I would love to play something like that. But instead, you're making this bullshit.
Her point with these 2 stories is that diversity needs to be more than a box to check so you aren't the target of bad PR. It should simply be natural. And for the first 10 minutes of this talk, I was fully on board with her. This is exactly what we need. If she had left it there, saying something like, diverse stories can be good and we should introduce more of them because I bet the audience will love them, it would have been fine. Sadly, she then went into contradicting herself and insulting the audience. She said that gamers need to be told different stories because they are like picky babies who will only eat the same thing over and over.
We start treating our core demographics as a fixed and...
That's the whole point and why people are pissed off on gaming is because we're eating the same shit over and over again. Same generic black person meets generic white person. They make generic interracial couple, and then that generic interracial couple make generic hero of the game. Generic hero of the game meets a slew of people where he can have sex with anybody and he can do anything. And everybody knows once you get to a climbing high point, you can get the map area. And then you beat the game. And then once you beat the game, you got a bunch of DLC to keep playing the game for 7 years, even though it's a single player game. Like, goddamn, dude. It's the same shit, except you're making it a generic black person instead of a generic white person. Like, it doesn't matter. And it's at the point where it doesn't matter so much. You're throwing such a tantrum over it. People are giving it to you, and they're losing money over it. That matters. But what you're complaining about doesn't matter.
Static value, something that does not want to change, and something that is locked in place. So despite like the changing face of audiences, despite the changing face of conferences like this one, we still look at our core demographics and say, okay, they're white, cis, hetero males. And we cater almost exclusively to them. And the problem is that we don't just cater to them like, you know, here's something that we think you'll enjoy. We cater to them the way that we cater to like a picky baby. We feed them the same thing that we know that they love, and we keep on feeding it. We're like, here you go, you love it, eat this, eat this, eat this, so that then when they get anything else, they react as a picky baby would, which is be like, oh no, thank you, I do not want this. And we've actually done this so long that what we're doing is creating an entire nation of picky babies, and they make us scared to deviate from what we actually want to do.
She also references how the industry and the audience...
See, their problem is they think people are programmable. We're only programmable as children. These games are made for adults. Why are you making games that are designed for adults accessible for children to be swayed on a different persuasion of life? Like, it's not your place to do that. It's not your place to keep on fucking doing this into our video games, bro. Video games are supposed to get away from shit. Why do you think Sony's popping right now? Why do you think the Asian market's popping right now? Because their video games aren't about our reality, bro. We are tired of our reality. Our reality sucks ass. Gas prices are out the goddamn roof. Fucking food is expensive as hell. Well, cost of living, expensive as shit. Your fucking cost of childcare, expensive as shit. Fucking baby stuff, all that shit. Everything is expensive as hell, dude. And you are wondering why people aren't willing to pay $70 to $100 on a video game that is 9 times out of 10 going to suck ass for the first 2 years it's out. So it's like the game didn't even come out until the next 2 years because you're playing early access with extra titles. Like, that's just what it feels like in gaming right now.
Are a bunch of white guys who think everything is about them, and her tone is very bitter. Then she advises developers to go to their marketing departments and scare them with what will happen if they don't include diversity.
If you're a creative working in AAA, which I did for many, many years, put this stuff up to your higher-ups, and if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want. Because they have to consider, like, I say that out as a joke, but it's actually very, very true, because if you start to consider the people who are player and audience facing and who have to deal with mitigating harm and with keeping the sentiment around their game and their project positive, there's like a genuine value that you can impress upon them with both ethically and financially. You can say this is important.
Finally, she says that games shouldn't only let players create their own diversity moments, but studios need to tell more diverse stories targeted to minorities.
Firstly, I would say do not be afraid to create moments that are intentionally targeted and designed to create joy in the marginalized.
The big issue here is that she wants...
Oh, God, dude. It's not a big deal if you do it on a side note. Perfect example. You're playing Final Fantasy 15, or yeah, Final Fantasy 15, I do believe is the one with the, yes, it is, Noctis. Okay, so you're playing Final Fantasy 15, you meet this black girl. This black girl is doing research for her science development. She needs the help of Noctis and his crew to get certain things for her science research, so that way she can complete her quest, right? You go ahead and help this black girl out, and it's no biggie, no problem. It's an organic feel to it. There's nothing wrong with it, right? Sweet Baby Ink's example, Forspoken. So this half black girl is getting in trouble by the law, and she's let off because she knows the law. So after being let off because she's the orphan from this miracle baby street, right? She gets transported to this magical world all of a sudden, no exposition, right? Just running away from some girls that she owed money to, right? You get to it, and everything is so played safe with the character. There's no real development with the character. By the time you play the end of the game, the only thing that the character learns is to be less of a bitch. That is it. And that's not even what she really learned. All she learned is that your friend or people that can be around your friends can be your family, I guess. That's their lesson to her story. But the whole problem with that whole lesson in that story is that it doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter. And all you did was make a game to appease your ego. That's all it was. And people seen right through it. And that's why nobody really liked the game. It's not even about what it was about. Like, it's just about the principle at that point. You're insulting the people that's buying your product.
Wants it both ways. And this is a common theme I see among proponents of diversity and inclusion. Sometimes they say, hey, we don't want special treatment, we don't want tokenism, we simply want to be a normal inclusion in the product without being tacked on so you can use us. And I love that message. Hell yes, we need more of that. But when it's convenient, she also wants special treatment with stories directed specifically to minorities and wants to pull the "I'm helpless, it's all white guys around here" victim card. I see this often. We want to be included in a normal way, but we also want to be treated special when it's convenient and victim status can be leveraged. Often you'll see clips of a person saying these different views in different contexts, but this video shows the same person in the same setting saying they want both. Her suggestion of diverse stories is not wrong. It's her contempt-ridden hubris that the audience better like them or else. That works against the eventual equality she claims she wants. For example, right now, Disney...
Like Jordan Peterson says all the time, they want equality of outcome, not equality of, equality of outcome, or whatever the fuck. Fuck. I'll just put it in the thing, right? Instead of me jumbling my words. But Jordan Peterson says it all the time. I just fucked it up.
Is a couple of African animation shows, and I'm making a video about it. And a little spoiler is that the most recent one, Iwaju, kind of sucks. I wanted to like it so much, and I realized a couple episodes in that I was giving it way more leeway than I would any other show, because I don't want to be an accidental racist, and I really want my daughter to like it. But part of this equality everyone is striving for needs to be the ability to look at a diverse product, weigh it fairly, and still say it's not good if it's not good. Andre, what do we need to be able to say? Let me use myself as an example here, because I do understand a little bit of where Belair is coming from. Her comments about giving the audience different stories, while couched as offensively as she could make it, is not 100% incorrect. There are stories out there that you might enjoy, and you don't even know it yet. I'm sure it's happened to you where a friend pressures you to watch.
No, I mean, for like the Forspoken story, I enjoyed the gameplay. I didn't enjoy the story at all. The story felt empty. The world felt empty. Everything I was doing felt empty. It was just because I was doing it was why I was doing it. And it was just like stupid. It was stupid in a way. It was real deal stupid. The plot was very paper thin. You could see right through it. You could predict what was going to happen the moment that she got teleported there. Like, it was predictable, dude. Like, I just don't understand it. They need to make more games with substance. Don't make a paper thin story just because the character's black and you want to make the character more relatable to black people, like black people are this shallow species or some shit.
Show, but it doesn't look like your kind of thing, but you end up devouring it. Digging under the bitterness of Belair, she is correct that game narratives can benefit from expanding their scope. They have to innovate, or they might die. It's the same with me making these videos.
Exactly what I said about Xbox. The reason why they're not fucking growing is because they're not innovating. They're not getting into that VR market. They're not getting into that handheld market. They're not getting into the fucking software market like that. They bought a bunch of software, but is the software ready? No. It's to be announced. We gotta wait until we're fucking damn near 40 to play an Xbox game again. Like, that's what it's feeling like.
I can't make the same video again and again long term because you don't want that, even if you don't know it consciously. Now, right now, when I make a video crapping on Disney or the MCU or the concept of wokeness, they do well. They're guaranteed winners because people like talking about those subjects. But they won't forever. Eventually, the MCU will either get back on track and it will sound desperate to go nitpicking for parts to hate, or it will continue its downward slide and it won't even be fun to make fun of it. Eventually, you will get bored of that topic. And if it's the only subject I talk about, then, by extension, you'll be bored of me.
Exactly.
I need you. So I have to experiment with different techniques and subjects to keep it fresh and discover what other topics you're interested in so we can maintain our relationship.
No one wants to deal with that while you're trying.
Yeah, let's get into this black girl.
Mostly, all people of color. We have no white people on our team. I did that because I wanted to create a safe environment. And I know the best way for an environment to be safe is to be around people who are...
Well, in America, that's against the law. But I'm not going to get into that.
Just like me. And I'm not saying that white people in the industry are creating unsafe environments. I'm not saying that. That is not what I'm saying. I am saying that sometimes it is hard to work with white people because they think that something made it okay, but it was really a microaggression. And no one wants to deal with that while they're trying to make a game that they love.
Wow. And she is now working for Cliffhanger Games, owned by EA, working as a narrative designer on a black...
See, that's why our gameplay mechanics are shit. That's why our gameplay loops are shit. That's why when you play the mission design is shit. That's why when you go and fucking explore the world, you clip through the goddamn world halfway through because they're worried about the fucking microaggressions.
Black Panther game for them. In that same interview, she also talked about her experience in the industry.
I am clearly not a white person. I am clearly not a white man. I'm a black non-binary woman. So it was pretty difficult for me because a lot of people did not take me seriously when I first take me seriously. Like, is it because I'm black? I mean, it probably is, but like...
No, it's because you're a black non-binary person that obviously looks like a fucking lady with, you know, lip gloss on and outliner on with pink shit on, and you fucking sitting there and you're trying to make yourself to be this person that's not binary because you're somehow special and you're better than everybody else, and you need to label everybody else cis because you are better because you have an understanding of your aura and life judgments, and you can't understand how life functions, and that's why you keep making garbage and costing people millions of dollars to produce your bullshit.
Like,
this is that same victim mentality that I'm talking about. On its face, it's insane that she would flat out admit she doesn't hire anyone from a certain race because they don't make her feel safe. But it's also funny that diversity is being touted as this silver bullet to storytelling and makes every product better simply because people who look different worked on it. And yet, here is Lalonde saying that she works best when surrounded by people who are just like her.
Why? Because everybody there is fucking 40 minutes late. Everybody there wants to fucking go on TikTok and Instagram to find out different ideas for fucking video games instead of sitting in the writer's room and actually putting something contributable to a video game character based on a certain African heritage that you have to put a fucking ounce of work into that you're not doing because you rather be worried about pronouns and your fucking description.
The hypocrisy is stunning. Her other comments are hilarious as well because they display the hypocritical side of...
And I have no qualms about these people. I just have, or what they do in their life. I have a qualm about them interfacing their life into my shit. I don't want to fucking deal with your bullshit. I got my own bullshit to deal with. If I'm paying you $70, I don't want to have an ounce of your difficult ass life in my shit. That's how I feel about it. Oh.
Claiming oppression.
Long space bar.
She said people don't take her seriously. Is it because she's black? Probably. So what that means is that she created angry, mean versions of other people, made negative assumptions for them, about them, and called herself the victim of oppression. The judgmental one in this scenario is Lalanders. I saw such an amazing explanation of this in an Instagram reel of all places. A guy was saying he doesn't worry about how other people judge him anymore because they probably don't. He said he realized he was making up ideas about other people, assuming the worst about them, creating...
Exactly. You're sitting in your head paranoid. You're like, oh, that white guy over there is looking at me all weird. And then that white guy's in their head like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? And then fucking, you're just sitting there like, at the end of it, like, oh, man. And what is the old adage that they say? You assume and you make an ass out of you and me. Except those people are just making an ass out of the whole damn fucking situation.
An imaginary them who then had mean judgments about himself. That's what Lalanders is doing here, living in this made-up reality where she assumes the worst about everyone around her and then tells herself that she's the victim of these non-existent crimes.
Bitch, it's called self-esteem.
Exactly.
It's esteem of your motherfucking self.
Exactly.
How the fuck can I fuck up how you feel about you, simple bitch?
Maybe nobody took you seriously because
exactly.
you're young. That's quite common. Maybe it's because you describe yourself as a MILF in training, or that you're non-binary. That's a label that many people don't take seriously at all. And maybe you just do poor work. There is a cornucopia of reasons for people to not take us seriously, but naturally she assumes the worst one because it's the easiest. I listened to the whole 22 minutes, which I will link below. Her whole worldview is nothing but a whiny victim narrative. She doesn't talk about anything.
I'm not surprised by the least bit. I can guarantee, I can guess what he's about to say. She is a victim. She is being impressed by the police. Her brother, her sisters, has been killed by the police. They have been doing this for generations after generations, and Republicans want to see us back in chains. They want to take our freedom of expression and sexuality, and they want to destroy it and burn it ablaze because our beautiful black skin cannot be matched by anybody else because those vanilla crackers, they are coming over and being shikaka. Like that.
Anything except the imaginary ceilings that exist.
You know what I mean? Like, it kind of sucks that, like, it kind of sucks that people saw me and they're just like, whatever, we're not gonna take her seriously. But if a white man made Validate, it would be fucking everywhere. That game would be
She gives off that vibe that when you go on a date with that type of girl, she's like, oh yeah, I got my degree in feminism, and then I don't give a damn about anything you have to tell me. I want the soup, and I want the soup now. If you don't like that, then I don't care. What is your job applications? What is your fucking monthly salary? Like, she just don't shut the fuck up. She's a narcissist.
Everywhere.
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
If white guys... Have you never seen the mountain of indie games made by white guys in Steam that go nowhere? Did you look at the individuals who make a game before buying? Guys, a couple years ago, I saw ads for this Kickstarter about a company making a game that looked and felt like 1995's Chrono Trigger. It was called Sea of Stars. Here is footage of me seeing the Kickstarter.
Damn, what is that, bro?
I don't know what anyone in Sabotage
I've been there
looks
before.
Like. I know what this game looks like, and my inner child commanded me to back that game. In fact, all my favorite JRPGs from my childhood were made by Japanese guys. So, Lalanders is a prime example of what I think white male privilege actually is. It's the total lack of we white guys whispering in each other's ear that there's some them out to get us.
Exactly. They just be like, exactly what I said. Oh, dude, you see that black dude over there? He's so black. Oh my God, dude. I just can't believe he's so black, dude. Oh my God. Watch, he's gonna come over here and ask me for $250. Right? Right? But no, they don't even think like that. They're just like, oh, just a normal person walking by. He's getting a little too close there. You know, that's just probably what they're thinking. They ain't even thinking that bad. But obviously, you got ignorant people of all races. Like, this is the thing that you got to realize, bro. I've met more racist minorities than I have met more racist white people. And that's just the way it goes. If you think of microaggression is something that is a problem, you are the racist because you're the one that's putting a problem on that.
The real boon that I have as a white guy is that I have to look at myself for my failures. Didn't get a promotion? I don't have a systemic them to blame. I have to ask what I can do different next time, and that is ultimately to my benefit. This is why I'm hard on the manosphere and the red pill guys, because they're trying to cultivate this attitude in young men, and it is a mental cancer. There's also this weird rebellious attitude that you see often here that's like, I'm persevering despite the haters. Ha! How do you like seeing a black they making games? Are you triggered? It feels strangely accusatory, and it's misplaced. Nobody was holding you back. We don't care. You're raging against a machine that does not exist. Whoop, quick break for dad mode.
Yep, I know what that's like. So, we'll listen to this piece and we'll close it out and get back on the itinerary. We'll be going straight into some Choosy Beggars, and to the guys on YouTube, make sure that you check that out. It'll be its own separate video. It'll be in the link or in the channel. So go ahead and check the link tree and all that shit out in the description in the future. But yeah, we're going to give our final takes after this part of the video.
Offensive because their hobby is not only looked down on by society at large, but they are also told from within racist, transphobic, all the usual terms. My issue with this is that instead of making quality games with different storylines, as Bel Air says is needed, they are trying to inject it into existing franchises. This is what we've been seeing in the movie industry as well. Latch on to popular IPs and inject your own narrative into it. When we do get a diverse character, like in the recent Forspoken, the game is trash.
Exactly.
And why should we be expected
to praise it
merely because
exactly
the
what I
protagonist
said.
is a black girl?
This smells like shit.
It is shit, Austin.
The other side is an audience that feels defensive because their hobby is not only looked down on by society at large, but they are also told from within the industry that they are bad people because they don't want their entertainment, their time to unplug, to be used as a message for social justice. This is why I'm against it. I don't like being called a sexist merely because I enjoy Zelda, and then someone like Anita Sarkeesian tries to tell me that I have a subconscious love for saving damsels because psychobabble. What always strikes me about this kind of logic is that they're saying we've all got these unconscious biases, and the only way to fight them is by consciously engaging in their open biases. Also, gamers are tired of being told this by outlets that seem to lie about games in their reviews and coverage. Now, something I think needs to be added to this discussion is that these consultants are not the only reason the game industry is having issues. I said I'd touch on another Sweet Baby game, and that is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice
Exactly
League.
what I said in the beginning.
This one is their most recent game they consulted on, and it has some content that falls into the social politics category. The game apparently
made Harley Quinn
strongly
ugly as
implies
fuck.
that this villain, King Shark, is queer. Batman is painted as an evil billionaire.
And a
lot
gay
of liberal
shark.
talking
You got a
points,
gay
but
fucking
that's not
fish,
why
bro.
the game is bad. It's bad because the story is bad, and the gameplay is not fun, and the game is not finished. I watched a couple reviews on this one, and the complaints are wide-ranging. So the involvement of Sweet Baby
And the story
is but a
ain't got nothing to
single
do with it,
facet
or
of
the sexual
failure.
orientation
When a game
got nothing
becomes
to do
nothing
with
but
it.
a content product that needs to get out the door,
They focus too
that's
much
when you
on
bring
it
in
and
narrative
didn't fucking
consultants to
get
write
into
for
the
you,
game
and
making.
you slap it all together, and you get a bad game. It's important to get perspective on this trend in gaming. Studios are not prioritizing the player, and consulting firms like Sweet Baby are a symptom of this failure to serve the audience. Why would a company like Rocksteady bring in Sweet Baby? Because they are...
Yeah, we're the unelected ambassadors of all gaming. We know exactly. We have our finger pulse on the gaming market, and we want you to consult with us instead of consulting with your Reddit or your Discord to make sure that you go ahead and make the game as best as possible. We have trained professionals to make sure your game runs as smooth as possible, and then boom, they just make sure that the game ain't racist.
Are a subsidiary of Warner Brothers, and large companies like that operate partly on investment dollars, and one way to appeal to investors is to get your ESG score up.
The way games are funded, you don't use your own money, even EA, okay? And what has been the cheapest money while interest rates were still low, a couple of years ago? It was ESG financing.
So they bring in sensitivity readers to show they're being good. Please give us money. And also, please, internet, don't hate us. We don't want to be the next Harry Potter game where...
Because BlackRock... BlackRock made it a point to force that DEI shit into video games.
bunch of chronically online idiots make a fuss about a game they weren't even intending to buy, but claim they will boycott it. Ironically, the Harry Potter game sold like crazy and was well received, but Suicide Squad customers... Ben, how would you sum up their thoughts? Yeah,
exactly.
Distributors had to give a lot of refunds after the launch.
Alright. I'm going to get into my final. If you want to go and check out Greg Owen's channel, he's on YouTube. Go ahead and get him and check out. Show him some love. But for the YouTube guys, my final thoughts on this Sweet Baby Inc. Xbox debacle bullshit going on with gaming right now. In my gaming news analysis through the entire night, guys on YouTube, it's through a variety of videos. Go ahead and check them out. They'll be posted by Monday. What's it? I don't know. Monday. Just look for Monday. Right?